and snap your fingers, then you lean back. All out of state, doing the day they never seen that. Ain't fast, throw and snap your fingers, then you lean back.
Hello and welcome to Viti Vibes TV, your only and own youth show for the Fijian youth. If you'd like to be a part of this show, please call us or let us know. I'm your host, Pranay Sharma. We're broadcasting from the unceded territories of the Kwantlen, Silvertooth, and Squamish nations. We are grateful for the first people of this land to let them share their sacred land and territories with the non-Indigenous people like us. February is Black History Month. Attend lectures, events put on by Black activists and learn more about Black history, their struggles, achievements to Canadian society. On Tuesday, February 28th, there will be a screening of Black Panther at the Van City Theatre, so go out and support the community. February is also known as Heart and Stroke Month. Do you know one premature death in women is heart disease and stroke? Women in every community in Canada are facing the devastating consequences and gaps in research, diagnosis, and care. They deserve a fighting chance against heart disease and stroke. 2/3 of the research are focused on men. No show is complete without our support from our sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor the show or any other thing or any other show that we have that we bring to you on a weekly basis, please call us on our number in our credits.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Arvind's Curry and Cocktail, Indian cuisine. They do catering for all occasions and they do free delivery. Please call 604-515-1070. Address is 420 6th Street, New Westminster. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. For deliveries, call 604-515-1070 or arvindscurry.com.
Bollywood Banquet Hall and Conference Center, located at Pile Business Center at 201-8166 128th Street in Surrey. No celebration is too small to accommodate you. They have newly renovated 2 halls to serve you, up to 1,000 guest capacity, top-notch chefs to delight you with delectable and heavenly cuisine. So just call Bollywood Banquet Hall at 604-598-2700 for your events.
Benisi Mobile Detailing Services. They offer commercial trucks, cars, SUV, boats, bikes, RVs, and much more. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859 and they will do all kind of services at your home.
Now we have our director Shannon Ramal in our studios, and let's see what she has for you. Like I said, this is your show, and if you'd like to come on the show and be a guest, please let us know, and we'd love to have you on here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Viti Vibes TV. I'm your director and host, Shannon Ramal, and today I am joined by a very special guest, but he's someone who is no stranger to this show. Before we introduce him, I'd first like to say thank you all for watching Viti Vibes every week. You can catch us at 10 p.m. on Thursdays or Sundays at 4:30 p.m. only on the Shaw Multicultural channel. You can also follow us on our social media pages, which is at Viti Vibes TV on Facebook and Instagram for behind-the-scenes content and future guest reveals. That being said, it's my greatest pleasure to introduce to you today's special guest, who is none other than Avi Chetty. So hello, Avi, how are you?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm very happy that you're joining me today again, and I love to have return guests to the show. So I know you've been here before and any of our past viewers would recognize your face, but for some of our new viewers, could you please do us the pleasure of reintroducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Avi Chetty. I am from the Bay Area, California. I make music, do seminars, help kids with their development and things of that sort.
Yeah, so you are a man of a lot of things, music being one of them, and obviously we'll get to talking about the music in a second. But aside from the music, what do you do career-wise, education? What's going on with that? Because I know last time I think you might have finished school or you were going back into school. But what's the
Uh,
update with that?
Currently, I am working at a social media company as a data analyst, basically noticing trends, stuff like that. And I'm going back to school to get my master's in biomed.
Nice. Okay,
Hopefully,
hopefully.
hopefully.
Is that sometime soon or you're just waiting on it?
Waiting on it. I don't know if I want to put myself to that much stress at this moment.
Yeah. No, honestly, the student struggle is real. Like, I totally get you on that. So what did you do for school beforehand though?
Beforehand, I was all over the place. So I wanted to go to school originally to become a dentist,
Hmm.
but then I made a logical decision and I looked through like um, the hiring rate for a dentist and stuff like that, and it didn't actually meet what I wanted it to meet, my expectations. So I switched over to computer science, and then I started going to school for analytics, and just going through stuff like that, understanding like trends and stuff, and then I landed my job here at the social media company that I currently am at.
Nice. And how long have you been doing that for?
I've been here since 2019, so about 4 years. 4 years. January.
Nice. So what are your personal takes on social media then? Any
Uh, Hot takes.
hot takes? Any hot takes?
It's a necessary evil.
Mhm.
Like it has its moments where like you can connect to people and stuff like that, but then just like everything else, too much of something is not always a good thing. You
Fair.
could drink a lot of water and drown. You could breathe a lot of air and still suffocate. So
That's very true.
s- putting certain limits on social media and stuff like that. Also, realizing that not all of your stuff is private. That's another thing that also I feel like people should be aware of when going on social media.
Yeah. So you being you, that you work in that profession, do you find yourself having to like being more wary about the things you put online or anything like that? Like, do you just because you know kind of like the back end of things?
100%. When I was younger, I used to post like just funny stuff, like crazy stuff on my social media, and then the older I got, the more I moderated the stuff that I put out there, just so you can have a certain image. Like,
Mhm.
still be able to have your personality out there and stuff, but also be wary that jobs may be looking at your social media account, seeing what you're saying and stuff like that nowadays, since at this moment the most valuable and expensive thing a person could have is data. So the more data you have on someone, the more basically value you have.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I totally get that. Um, so also kind of well, I want to ask this question a little later. Maybe it's great now. Because you are a music artist as well, you've been doing music for some time, and because of this whole social media thing, do you feel like music artists now have to become like social media influencers or stars at the same time? Or do you think like people don't need that in order to succeed
Uh,
musically?
I think it's a mixture of both, honestly, because um, pe- when especially if you're like trying to make it big, you're selling your personality
Oh yeah.
first. That's what people are coming to see you for, and not like music is a thing, but it's not as important nowadays because you can go on TikTok, post a 15-second video of your song, the best part of your song, and people will gravitate towards it, make videos and stuff like that. But when it comes to something outside of that, I doubt it. Like if you want to make something with substance and stuff like that, social media can be your friend, but it also can be your enemy because it can put you in a certain pocket.
Mhm. No, absolutely. Um, so getting more into your music, you've been doing this for quite some time, and you've been on the show before to share some of your projects and what have you. So with the music thing, how long have you been doing it? And what kind of artists would you group yourself as?
I've been doing music since I was like 16, turning 25 this year, so close to 9 years. Um, Musically, I don't know, because I go through so many phases in life, and that's what my music represents. Like my last project was in 2020, and it was very braggadocious and stuff like that. Because I was young, I just got this job at the place that I'm currently at. Just got a new car, a new house, so I was just wilding out, just being as braggadocious as possible. And following that, a lot of stuff has happened throughout life and stuff that have changed my input and changed my output of the stuff that I put out there. So I would say I went from hip hop to alternative music essentially. So now I sing a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so I know because I've been following your music journey for quite some time. I could totally say that is also the case. You've been definitely versatile, I'd say, like in your music and how you go. And I think you kind of explained it well, how you go through phases. And I think like for many artists too, when it's music of substance, you're usually talking about things like what's happening in your present life in real time, right? And
Mhm.
I think that's definitely what it is. Um, but a question about music and youth. When it comes to music, do you think music influences the thoughts and lifestyles of youth?
100%. For example, as of recently, I've been listening to a lot of like happier music,
Mhm.
and I've noticed my moods have changed, and it's actually helped me make a little bit more creative things. Um, when I was listening to a little bit sadder, low frequency music, I felt myself like a little down in the dumps a lot. But I feel like music is such a universal thing. It's like we could all speak different languages, and we could all feel the same thing from one song. I feel like music is a bridge for a lot of people. So having that connection with music and also having it influence me as an individual has made me more, I would say, most sociable, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think like there's kind of like because I know you kind of fall in like you started off a little bit of hip hop, rap kind of thing, moved into a little bit more like your senti vibes and now like alternative music kind of thing. Do you think
Hmm.
when like I feel like hip hop music is definitely popular um type of music amongst youth. Here and I bet where you live as well. Do you think it gets like kind of like a negative connotation with the music itself and like how it kind of like makes kids think like, oh, you have to be like this um
Hmm.
kind of like, show offy, like braggadocious kind of guy, if you will.
Yeah, I do actually, but that comes with the whole social media aspect as well. Because if you think about it, back in the day when we didn't have social media and it was just the music, people were just listening to the music.
Mhm.
It didn't matter what you looked like, how you acted, or anything like that. You would listen to music. You can go you like I remember personally in my area, I would go 10 blocks down, people are listening to Eminem. I'll go 10 blocks the other way, people are listening to Too Short or Drake or something like that. And it didn't really matter. Social media when it wasn't that big of a thing. But nowadays it's okay, I listen to this set of music, so I have to look like I listen to this kind of music. Or I have to act as if I do listen to this music so I have credibility behind the things I say.
Mhm.
So, but once again, it all goes back to social media and what you're perceived than what you actually are.
Mhm. Do you think there should be like that kind of separation between the art and the artist? Like people can also have their everyday average lives, but then they could also be doing their music and I don't know, I guess putting that persona if they want.
Yeah and no. It's gonna take a while because social media and whatnot.
Mhm.
But it's one of those things where music is supposed to speak to you beyond the physical, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So music is supposed to speak to you in an emotional, mental, and sometimes a spiritual level. It's supposed to trigger things in you that you've already had inside. It's not supposed to add things onto you that you're not. It's not what you are.
Mhm.
Like, for example, I listen to a lot of metal alternative music. That's just what I listen to. I'm at times very calm, composed, and very just chilled out. But then at times when I'm listening to certain times of music, like the metal side, I'm very energetic. I'm very to the point, stuff like that. But I've already had those qualities in me. So I feel like people are using music as or listening to certain musics as a status symbol or some way to identify, so you fit into a group instead of just individuality and whatnot.
Mhm. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Um, Now talking more about like your own music. So I know you mentioned before that you have projects coming up, a new EP. So would you please care to share with our audience what those new projects are and kind of what the vibes are behind those things?
So I have a two-song EP coming out on the 24th, which I believe is a Friday. It's basically just gonna be a continuation of a song that I dropped about, I think, last year in October. It was a ballad of a breakup. So it was just this whole EP is a soundtrack essentially for you just broke up with your significant other and you're driving back home after having that conversation, and it's just you in the car and the road. So the emotions that's supposed to be feeling through you, the regret, the happiness, the sadness, the anxiety that you got from separating from someone, you should be able to feel it in this EP. And the next EP is going to be more about healing, understanding yourself. And then the third part of the EP, which is going to come out in a couple of months as well, is going to be finally being healed, finally being comfortable in oneself and identity, and learning to embrace individuality and embracing the single life again.
So with all these projects, what's kind of like your message that you want to get across?
Feel it. That's essentially it. Just feel those emotions instead of trying to push it down or finding a distraction so you don't have to feel those emotions or acknowledge them. Feel those emotions in those moments. Learn to take everything for what it is and just understand that it's gonna happen. You're gonna have your heartbreaks, you're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, but you're not gonna be able to appreciate true love without having that heartbreak. You're not gonna appreciate the highs without having the lows. So that's essentially what I want people to get: to feel it, understand it, and accept it.
That's great. I'm glad you said that. And I totally think like, especially with music, it's one of those things you can connect to and it really
Mhm.
does help heal. It could help break you. It could make you feel like it connects to your emotions for sure. And I'm glad that you're doing this. And also I want to ask like, does these projects for yourself, has it been a healing process personally? That which is why you've ended up doing this kind of route of like music?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, actually, it has. The first song that I dropped last year, it was "I Thought You Would Be With Me Forever." I actually teared up making that song. I didn't write anything down. I saw it an instrumental. I liked the instrumental, and I just took it out. It's like a little therapy session, you might say. And then with the next couple songs that I'm dropping on the 24th, it's more or less the same. I felt more acceptance for the situation. It's been a while since I was in a situation with my significant other, so I'm finally at a point where I'm accepting it and I'm understanding it and giving myself that time to show my inner self, my inner child sympathy instead of saying, "Oh, I'm a big guy, I'm a big boy, I'm an adult, I gotta keep it pushing regardless." Yes, you keep it pushing, keep it grinding, but you feel those emotions, and it's helped me understand who I am as an individual a lot more.
Mhm. No, no, that's great. I'm glad that you're doing this. But I also want to ask, so when you are, because I know you started off doing one type of music and now you're kind of like going into like this other type of music or category or however you want to call it. Um, with that transition, do you think people would expect you to do that kind of music that you do now compared to like what you first started doing back in the day?
Definitely not. 100% not. I remember when I dropped the a little bit more alternative, sing-songy type song. Everyone was like, "Yo, what is this?" But then people who actually know me, that know about my poetry and stuff like that, they were like, "We understand this is a very good lane for you to be in." Having slower beats with more like acoustic guitars and stuff like that, just having alternative instrumentals and making alternative music has made it a lot easier for me to express myself, because with especially the rap that I used to make, it was about punchlines, what sounds good on a beat, I want people to be like, this dude is nasty on the beat, or oh my god, this dude's fired. That's what I wanted the reaction. Now I want people to be like, oh, he is sad. Oh, he is in shambles.
Like he's going through
That's
it
the
kind of thing.
Yeah. I want people to know that I could be, stern, braggadocious, and optimistic, but at the same time be sad, a little like sad and just simpy, because you're an amalgamation of everything you go through and all the emotions and all the situations, and I want to show people that I can be strong and I can be vulnerable at the same time.
And I'm glad you're doing that because I feel like especially for like young men as well, like they're very much told by society and just that like that perception that they have to be like this kind of like macho man. They always have to be like the top, like alpha male, and that they're not
Yeah.
allowed to kind of feel their emotions. And I think the thing that you're doing with your music, even though it like kind of started off maybe that way, but at least you're like kind of moving into like also showing that, you know what, there's the good, there's the bad, there's ugly, you know what I mean? And so like you're kind of, and I'm actually really happy that you're sharing that, especially like in a public matter, like on a platform. So thank you for that and sharing that. I think the message is very great what you're trying to put out there. So for these projects, you said what date are they coming out?
So the first project is called Love is War. It will be coming out on February 24th, Central Time or Pacific Time. One or the other. It's coming out on the 24th.
24th.
So,
All right. And if anyone wants to keep up to date with any of your future projects or what have you, where can they find you? Social medias and LinkedIn's or
they could find me at Hennessy Avi. So it's Hennessy_Avi on all social media platforms. And then if you search up Shuddy Avi on any streaming platform, music streaming platform, or YouTube, you will also find my music.
All right. We're just about to run out of time for today's interview, but thank you so much, Avi, for joining me. Just one last thing I want to ask you. Do you have any message for the young people today?
Yes. Stay true to yourself. Understand who you are. Therefore, you can't be shaken. If you know who you are and you have a stern understanding of what you need and what you want, you'll be able to move through life a little bit easier and not be shaken by the situation life throws at you. Also, be aware of the bad times because it'll make you appreciate the good times a whole lot more. And then when you're in those good times, accept it, saturate yourself in that, center yourself in those good times, and appreciate those as well because you worked hard to get where you're at. And sometimes just sit back and give yourself a pat on the back. Life is not a race; it's a marathon. Working on yourself is a lifetime project. You never really get done with it. So keep pushing and let the marathon continue.
Thank you, Avi. That was beautifully said. There was a lot you just said in there, but I hope people really deconstruct that and apply that to their lives. Thank you so much for joining me again today. And it's always a pleasure to have you on this show. Again, for the viewers watching, be sure to tune in to Avi's future projects, which are coming out February 24th. You can check him out on all streaming platforms, check out his social medias, and be sure to stay in tune also with Viti Vibes, which you can watch every Thursday at 10 p.m. or Sundays at 4:30 p.m. With that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Shannon. We have some announcements that you may be interested in participating in, so please have your pens and papers ready. The countdown to Rugby Sevens on March 3rd to 5th, 2023. There will be an epic week of 60,000 fans, 352 players, 28 teams, and a 3-day event on Epic Weekend. Please reserve your tickets by going on tickets@canadasevens.com. We ran out of time for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I love bringing it to you. If you missed our show today, you can always watch it on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. in BC and 5:30 in Alberta. There's no show that is complete without our sponsors, so if you'd like to sponsor the show, please call Camila at 604-537-5123 for information about that. Also, please don't forget to watch Fiji in Focus on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. and Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. and also Sundays at 4 p.m. Asian Post TV on Wednesdays at 2:30, Thursdays at 8:30, and Saturdays at 5:30, as well as the Camila Singh Talk Show on Mondays at 10 a.m. and the repeats on Sunday at 5:30. All our shows are uploaded to YouTube, and please watch them and like, and also please share. Before I leave, I'll leave you guys with these thoughts. A frog decided to reach the top of the tree. All the frogs shouted, "It's impossible, it's impossible," until the frog reaches the top. How? Because he was deaf, and he thought that everyone else was encouraging him to reach the top. Be deaf to negative thoughts. If your aim is to reach your goal, remember that. Author is unknown. With that, please have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon. See you guys.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005. Bollywood Banquet Hall and Conference Center, located at Pile Business Center at 201-8166 128th Street in Surrey. No celebration is too small to accommodate you. They have newly renovated 2 halls to serve you, up to 1,000 guest capacity, top-notch chefs to delight you with delectable and heavenly cuisine. So just call Bollywood Banquet Hall at 604-598-2700 for your events.
Benisi Mobile Detailing Services. They offer commercial trucks, cars, SUV, boats, bikes, RVs, and much more. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859, and they will do all kind of services at your home.
Now we have our director Shannon from Mall in studios, and let's see what she has for you. Like I said, this is your show, and if you'd like to come on the show and be a guest, please let us know, and we'd love to have you on here.
Ain't fat, double shot your fingers, then you lean back. All out of state, 20 days, they never seen that. Ain't fat, double shot your fingers, then you lean back.